things are being taken care of. Careful to re-mention the disclaimer and the insight of quotes, because the quotes mean it's not necessarily true energetically. It's not necessarily what it seems. So the disclaimer is there so no one has misaligned feelings or thoughts, right? Because I'm not just gonna say things without some type of like quotations, So, quote unquote, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Tesla, end quote, and others, of course, them more or less having their own strain and streamline of authenticity of energetics, and them already recognizing, most respectively, the initial sparking of some type of spiritual knowledge and effect that has influenced them, and they're more or less having their own unique energetic level of reciprocation. What does that mean? They're receiving it and then expressing it in their own unique ways. And shout out to things being taken care of, right? Because if things being taken care of, there's so much videos I've lost that were just like, you wouldn't believe like the insights that were delivered from the lost videos. But I keep cleaning up my memory, and I'm keeping up my memory, and it's a miracle. It's a miracle that things could be clear, right? Because the power really is in the self-work from yesterday's lost video. And obviously, it's not necessarily about dwelling about, just replications. Like, we're all an experiment and a testament of God or anti-God on just some advanced intellectual level, and recognizing people's just general standard competition mind states. And from that, all these other quote unquote detrimental emotions come from that, end quote, right? Like I want to be better than you type of shit, when it's just you versus you type of shit. So the clarity here is, and the insights here is, with things being taken care of and you doing the self-work energetically, we're asking the advanced intelligence. We know the what do you call that? We know the significance of this, the quote unquote just like the quote unquote the two different timelines that are really there on a different advanced metaphysical level. And obviously you're gonna ask, what does that mean? What are you talking about, right? That type of shit. I've been over this, I've been doing this, I've accomplished 8 years, going on to February or whatever, of just doing the same shit, of just kind of showing up in a wind way, because I have wind qualities and talents, and it was what it was within the mechanics. I'm not too brashy. I'm not trying to be too what do you call that? And I cleaned up my memory, so hopefully this video doesn't crash. I'm not trying to be too resentful or spiteful within how life has treated me, because if we count the gratitude, then that gratitude will reciprocate with us, and then we can come back in life, right? So with all that being said, it's other people's projections, they don't mean shit in the long run, but they could make something of a situation, because obviously people could act off their quote unquote their disgruntledness, end quote, and they could project that. So if advanced intellectual policies and protocols are not there, then sketch shit will be allowed in just the general work vicinity. And I'm not judging or dismissing anything. I'm just saying the work vicinity is what it is, and there's policies there, so a certain type of order could be upheld, generally, duh. And within saying all of that fucking shit, excuse my French, it's there is and I've said this before, but what do you mean by just two timelines? Okay, let me explain. There's and it's beyond, it's a neutral principle that's parallel to everything else, because everything else could be something of a chaos. Because what do I mean by two timelines? There's only a timeline that's for ascension, and there's a timeline that's for descension, that has nothing to do with per se spirituality or the material reality. It's just a different background energetics of, are you really, really, really working with the original God and seeing how religions could be used in quote unquote good or bad, end quote, and the mechanics being for what they are, and you have a subjective destiny that could either quote unquote ascend or descend, and whatever happens, it is what it is, because I'm doing it for a bigger balance beyond just the human mentality, you know? So I'm at the point where like I'm showing up in balance, etc., etc. So and I did clear my memory on some shit. So this video is like saying like there is timelines where there's ascension timelines where those companies that I mentioned, it's like, what will they become with initially balancing the reciprocation of the spiritual knowledge? What will Amazon become? What will Apple become? What will Google become? What will Tesla become? What will Microsoft become? Particularly with reciprocating and harmonizing with the real balanced spiritual knowledge. And what will they become if it's not a balanced reciprocation? That's a different advanced future context of just general surface level expression of two different timelines. Because there obviously there's quote unquote infinite timelines, but there's timelines within timelines within timelines. And this was before the real Vedic juice was before hundreds of like it's really timeless, you know? So everybody like receiving the piggyback shit, great. But like I'm showing up with the real purpose and the real knowledge. That's the difference. And I've been on this same stream showing up like this and kind of risking it, sacrificing it for my own shit and purpose and lineage and shit like that for gonna be 8 years, and that's for me to me, you know? And that will be proven later. But I'm just saying it like, you know, like, so if someone projects onto me like their baby poo or whatever, then the gratitude and the miracles that life has to offer, it's totally going over their head, and they're totally on a different, deeper energetic level. They're shitting on gratitude somehow and miracles somehow, because that's on an energetic level. I'm carrying that in the balance, you know, like I'm carrying that I'm reciprocating with what's giving me the possibility to do this. And as I'm risking myself for a possibility, and the surface level, I've been quote unquote at a disadvantage, end quote. So it's like, I'm not trying to get too tangenty ranty with it, but it's like, it's kind of out of pocket for anybody to kind of like, you know, really like want to like, you know, do something ill to me, because I'm working with the original possibility, and I'm at a quote unquote energetic material disadvantage, end quote. And I'm just saying that, and I'm not trying to be like, and I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just saying that's what it is, you know? I'm not trying to save face. I'm not trying to make an excuse. That's literally what it is. And shout out to like the data to be recovered. And obviously, if there's any questions, the questions could be answered, right? And then the predecessors are saying like everything is energy. Okay. What kind of energy? And then seeing just how like it has its own effect in this current time, and people are plateauing with authenticity, and they're certain webinars are saying they could do this, but not really that easily. And like now there's like fucking millions of platforms that are all in one platforms, right? So that's the thing. It's just it's everyone's doing the same nature, and everyone's doing the same pattern, not good, not bad. I'm just saying like, obviously we're just seeing like where, like, what's preserving it though. That's like one of the final questions. What's really preserving it? That's the main difference beyond all of the tech shit. Like, what's really preserving it on some real fucking shit. So with that being said, and obviously I know people could hate me, but like, that's what it is, you know? I'm like you want to see one page of me and just dwell on one page? That's cool. But like, so like, it's like, what will these companies become with the harmony of the original spiritual knowledge? And what will they become if they kind of just like are at a de-harmony and a de-reciprocation without like, you know, God's preserved spiritual knowledge. So you have the best life ever. I made the point. Thank you very much.